No, 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 no. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay. I know you saw the thumbnail and read the title, but all you keyboard warriors, just give me a sec. And trust me, I promise you're going to have your moment to open fire on me. Just hear me out first, okay? Cool. Now, back to the video.
So, we all have an ego, right? I mean, some more than others, sure, don't get me wrong, but at the end of the day, we could all admit that we have some sort of an ego.
Like, I'm pretty self-aware. At least, I'd like to think I am. And I personally can admit that I have quite an ego.
See, but having an ego could have two sides to it. For example, there's the bad side, which gives off arrogance, overconfidence, and pure cockiness. Then there's the good side to having an ego, where it tends to keep us in check, keep us motivated, and keep us having a balanced view of self-worth. But nah, I'm definitely in that first category. My entire childhood, I was always told that I was too cocky, too arrogant, a showboat, if you will. Which was definitely true, but like, come on, look at me. I was kind of that guy.
And at the time, it was kind of cute and all, you know. I was just this little kid with extreme confidence who thought he could do anything. Something that most people outgrow when they finally reach adulthood and real life smacks them across the face for the first time. But nah, not this guy. I eat those. Till this day, I still know I'm that guy.
And honestly, at times, I know I could be a menace. Can't Tell Me Nothing by Kanye West is practically my theme song at this point.
Excuse me, was you saying something? You can't tell me nothing.
For my entire life, my ego has been my greatest asset, allowing me to completely block out failure from my mind and work at things with an unreasonable amount of fixation to continually feed my unsatisfiable ambitions.
Sounds obsessive? Well, it probably is, but who made you a therapist?
See, but I never seen this as a weakness. It's always been my superpower. That was until recently, something changed.
By the time this video uploads, it would be 6 weeks since I first started uploading YouTube videos.
Oh my god, we love your videos. You're so great. This is my favorite channel. You're a genius. Please make more.
Too kind. You're all too kind. Thank you. Thank you. But boy, let me tell you, when it comes to making videos, there is this mental to physical disconnect that I have never felt before.
Let me walk you through what my average workflow looks like. I usually start off with a pure genius, viral, Oscar-worthy idea. I usually take that genius idea and transfer it to a written form, where it becomes a slightly less genius idea now that I'm starting to see it written down. Either way, I continue on by jumping in front of the camera and recording said slightly less genius idea. Cause you know, who needs time to proofread, refine, edit, and rewrite ideas? Definitely not me, and definitely not when your ideas are already perfect. During the recording process, I usually set up in an empty room with nothing but a camera and some bright lights in my face just so I could stumble over my lines dozens of times, try to nail the same corny jokes hundreds of times, and have an unreasonable amount of mental breakdowns throughout it all. Next, I move on to editing, where I'm forced to relive that same nightmare I just endured the previous day.
Oh, this is garbage.
And at this stage, this is usually where I've lost all hope in whatever concept I'm recording. My idea has officially gone from a masterpiece to a steamy hot pile of manure sitting on my hard drive. But of course, here comes my ego, knocking on my door, telling me to keep going and not give up. So I push through the pain. I fight fire with fire. I put my entire heart and soul into the edit, desperately trying to save what once was, leaving absolutely nothing out there. And finally, once the video has reached its totality, meh. I mean, I don't completely despise it anymore, but really, that's about it. And at this point, I figure I already put so much time, effort, and energy into it that I might as well release it.
But for the first time in my life, I have zero ego in something that I do because I know I'm bad at it. Video after video, time after time, I have been humbled like never before. Well, I guess humble people don't generally call themselves humble, but I'm still working on that.
Which is why I'm turning to you. And yes, I understand the internet is a very dangerous place to ask to be humbled. See, because most of the time, there's no real world repercussions for things that are said on the internet. You can honestly hide behind your screen all day and say whatever you want to. I don't know who you are, I don't know what you look like, I'm definitely not smart enough to trace your IP address and find out who you are in real life. Thus, it's become highly noticeable that people tend to be more bold online than they are in real life, to the point where occasionally some things get carried way too far online and actually incur real life consequences. But that's not the roasting I'm asking for here.
What I'm asking for is more so constructive criticism. But obviously, roast me makes a better thumbnail and title, so yes, you just got clickbaited. Sue me.
Now, advice can truly be one of the hardest things to give someone. For some, there seems to be an extremely thin line between what you say that can either go in one ear and out the other, or become someone's 13th reason. But right in the middle of the two, there's a sweet spot that can actually help an individual grow within themselves. That thin line is where good advice resides.
Now, since we all have egos, it can cause us to blur this line at times when we are the recipient of advice. This happens often when people identify themselves with whatever their craft is.
For instance, someone who likes to cook probably just calls themselves a cook. They identify themselves with what they do so much that they become it. So when they're told that their mac and cheese is so dry that you gotta pray after you eat the food, they associate that criticism directly to themselves, not their cooking. Which it's natural to get upset about, but at the end of the day, we need to remember that criticism is to help drive improvement. So let it sting for a bit, but then pick yourself up, dust yourself off, lock in, and for God's sake, Janet, please add more cheese sauce before someone chokes on that thing.
The way we react to criticism and feedback also says a lot about the people who are giving it to us. If we properly apply the feedback that has been given to us and the person is still unhappy with the outcome we produce, then 9 times out of 10, they're just a hater. At that point, they're only giving criticism to tear us down, not to see us grow. Stop accepting feedback from those people.
Whereas someone who is happy to see the growth you've made and in turn compliments the noticeable improvement is the type of person you really want in your corner giving you advice. By the way, that haircut doesn't suit you at all. Also, you should really fix your posture. It's bad.
That felt bad, didn't it? Obviously, I'm staring at a camera. I can't see you. I'm sure your hair and posture looks fine. I bet you straightened up though, but I'm sure it's fine. But for 2 whole seconds, that kind of hurt, didn't it? I bet you felt personally attacked. I said all that to say, don't go about spreading unwarranted feedback to innocent civilians going about their own business. It's oftentimes just considered rude. Unless, of course, that person has something that's clearly going on that they're unaware of, that's caused by accident, something like food stuck in their teeth or a toilet paper trail stuck on their foot, something that's going to cause them further embarrassment if they're not told. But just generally speaking, let's keep our thoughts to ourselves. How about that?
And lastly, for some, this may go without saying, but for those that need to hear this, none of what others think or say about you should become the defining factor on if what you are doing or who you are is meaningful. Because sometimes the best advice is no advice. At the end of the day, you know yourself and your situation better than anyone else.
And with that as my final point, I am now opening up the floodgates. Here I am. Tell me as it is. Let me have it.
I'll be taking the feedback from all the comments, evaluating them, and then apply them to my future upcoming projects. I'm probably really gonna regret this,
But it's too late. I already spent way too much time and effort on this video, recorded the whole thing. So, see you next week.